Welcome to this episode of CynSpeaks. In this episode, we're going to talk about the importance of details. Details are so important, and we're going to talk about transparency and communication because details are crucial. So, first off, details can be used to help you or details can be used to harm you. Take a contract, for example. If somebody who you are working with is working to get into a contract with you, the importance of the details is crucial. Somebody who has mindfulness of details can use those details to help strengthen the relationship, the working relationship that you guys have, or lack of disclosure on said details could potentially hinder or harm that working relationship. For example, if there's an expectation on one party in the contract and that party did not read through the contract, that they could end up agreeing to something that they didn't want to agree to. So if there's an expectation that isn't clear, right, then that could hinder that agreement or the conditions of that agreement. So when you're thinking about going into any type of agreement with somebody, the details are important. And ironing out those details before you even get to the point of signing a contract is the best way to manage a relationship. All you business people and account managers know that the best way to get a happy client on the other side is to talk about all of the details and the little nuances prior to the actual contract being presented and signed. That way, the other individual feels comfortable that they can trust you, that you've actually already outlined everything and nothing is a surprise. On the other side of the coin, if you are doing shady business and you are not discussing certain details that may be critical in someone's decision-making process, you're doing shady business. And I guarantee you're going to have some trouble or more trouble closing deals and getting contracts signed because people aren't going to trust you. And eventually your reputation's going to be trashed. And good luck getting more clients. You'll only get the naive ones. Where's the fun in that, right? So being transparent and forthcoming and open with information is so extremely crucial. When we're talking about transparency, that applies not only to business and contracts, but it also applies to life. And a huge one is dating and relationships, because so often people will get into these agreements, into these contracts or relationships and marriages with people and never discuss the details. And I can tell you this because I've made this mistake. I got so wrapped up in the way I was feeling and the fact that what I wanted may be coming to life and I wanted a family, I wanted all these things. I didn't stop to think and talk about details. And the details could have been crucial in the outcome of the relationship, because when you sit and you talk about details, you allow the other person the opportunity to decide if they agree to your terms. And that's so important. So if you're thinking about, if you're dating, right, you want to make sure that you guys are having discussions about what the expectations are of each person. And I'm not just saying the women's expectations on men, although that's important. Men's expectations on women are also very, very important. So both are equally as important. If you get into an agreement with somebody without discussing these details and these communications, there's going to be issues down the line. But if you hash these out in the beginning, you can decide if that's an agreement you even want to get involved with. Sometimes you may be okay with the details, and other times you may say, you know what, I'm not interested. And that's respect. If you're giving the other person the opportunity to decide if they're interested, that's so important. And they will respect you no matter what, even if they decide that they're not interested in that type of agreement with you. This happens a lot when they'll put a front or face on in the beginning of a relationship, and it's not really who they are. And that causes issues later down the line because the other person in the relationship agreed to something with the person that they initially met and they initially fell in love with. But then a couple years down the line, that's really not the person that they really got, right? There's a mask that comes off at some point. That is why there's value in taking your time, because eventually somebody's going to show who they really are. Some people aren't like that. Some people show who they are from the beginning, but we all kind of step it up a little bit in the beginning of a dating situation. A lot of people do this even outside of dating, like social media. A lot of celebrities will do it, you know what I mean? Like the details, and they're not as transparent, but they're getting what they need, right, in this scenario. So it's important to be transparent and to your comfort level, obviously, but I think it's important, and I think that it prevents a lot of issues later down the line if you're just upfront and honest. Like, if you are someone that's looking to have more kids, like, I'm not saying go on a first date, right, and talk about, oh, I want 5 kids and I want my kids immediately. No, don't do that. But make sure you guys talk about that before you get into something serious with somebody, because I think that's so important. And I think those conversations aren't happening, and that causes a lot of discord later on in the relationship. If you don't like to cook and clean, don't pretend that you do. If you're not willing to suck it up and do those things as a wife, like, don't say that you're going to do those things in the beginning, because at some point you're either going to start to resent the fact that you have to do these things because you agreed to it, or you're going to just stop doing it, and then the other party is going to be unhappy because you changed up, right? They're going to say, oh, you changed up on me, when in reality you never liked to do it in the first place. So speak up for yourself. Like, be honest with yourself first, and be honest with the other person with regards to the details of the agreement, whatever that may look like, and decide what's best for both of you. Like, decide what's best for you, decide what's best for them. If the other person wants a housewife and you know that that'll never be you, why not cut that person free and let them find a person that's better for them? Or if you're willing to modify that part of your life forever, right? If that's something you deep down would love to do, you just don't know how, that's different. You can learn the skills to do it. If you hate cooking and cleaning, you want your own career, and you don't want to be a stay-at-home mom, and he wants a stay-at-home mom, wife, whatever, if that's never going to be you, don't pretend that it is, because you'll regret it later down the line, and he'll be angry with you for changing up, right? So just be honest with yourself. Be honest with the other person. You're allowed to do that. I think that's so important and so crucial. I really believe a lot of relationships would be better off if both parties were just a lot more transparent during the dating stage, and if both parties just took it as an opportunity to decide if this is what works. And for me, I think that's the difference with dating at 20 and dating at 30, is that there's a desire to be more transparent. And the reason why is because I know myself more. I didn't know what I was willing to compromise on. I didn't know what I was willing to change about myself. I didn't really think about that. I didn't know what my boundaries were. I didn't take the time to develop that, and now I'm pretty clear, and I'm in a good space because of it. So I think that's really valuable, to just know who you are and know the details of who you are. Know what is non-negotiable for you. Know exactly what you're looking for in your future, so that you can see if the person sitting across from you is in alignment, and if you guys are on the same page. And if you guys are vibing, you guys are on the same page, then go with it. If you guys are looking at it like, that's really not in my plan, speak up, say something. Be like, I know you want kids. I don't want kids. Like, I don't want kids. And that could be a deal breaker for somebody, and that's okay. They want what they want, and they're allowed to want what they want. It's not wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. Just means it may not be the best fit for you. So when you're in a space where you're no longer like desperate, right? Where you're not desperate for attention or desperate for a relationship, you can screen out people, right? You can get to know people and decide if this person really aligns with you, because you're not in a rush and you're not on a timeline. And what that does, when you don't settle, it opens you up for what you really want. So with dating, if you are dating somebody and you know that person is not a fit for you, not only are you holding on to somebody else's spouse, you're holding somebody else's spouse hostage, you are also holding space for somebody that isn't in alignment with who is for you. So you're holding on to this person and there's somebody better out there for you. That's crazy. That is crazy. Think about it. Think about the details. Be transparent. Communicate. Make sure you are crystal clear with yourself first on what you want and what you're looking for. And then be honest with the other person and allow the opportunity for them to be honest with you. And there's nothing wrong with being on different pages. Some things you can compromise on, some things you don't want to. All of that is okay. So think about that. Not just with dating, with friendships, with jobs, with working relationships. Set it all out in the beginning. Get your expectations clear in the beginning. And if you do that and you're clear on your expectations, you will be disappointed less. The person will know what you expect. They will have agreed to it, and it should just flow. If it doesn't, then you can say, listen, from the beginning, I've always said this is what I was looking for. You agreed to it, and you now are not fulfilling those needs or whatever it may be. Now we have an issue. You're not meeting our agreement. But if you never said something and you never said, hey, I need a man that makes 6 figures, and you married a man that makes 5, right, and is always going to make 5, that's just his career, and you're angry with him about money, but you knew what you were getting into and you never voiced the importance of somebody making 6, 7, 8 figures, that's not fair to this guy. You just set him up for failure. So that's why it's so important to be crystal clear with who you are, what you want, whatever that looks like, and be okay with communicating that and getting crystal clear with the other person, respecting their opinion, and then being okay with letting it go if it doesn't align. If the non-negotiables don't align with each other, it's probably not right. And that's okay. So making peace with that. This was fun. Dating is not my favorite topic, but it's easy to relate with regards to relationship stuff. So, yeah, all the things. This was sent to you with love and light. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Cynamon Voe. Tag your friends. I want to hear your opinions on this one. I think some people will probably disagree. I like that because I like growing my perspective too. So if you disagree with me, that means you can teach me something maybe. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Let's grow together. Until next time.